We thought we were prepared for anything. We had read the books, planned the nursery, calculated the expenses, and even imagined the sleepless nights. But nothing, absolutely nothing, could have prepared us for the moment the doctor smiled and said, "There are two." In that instant, joy collided with fear. Love multiplied, but so did responsibility. Dreams expanded, yet so did the pressure. What changed in our relationship after finding out there were twins? Everything and somehow nothing at all. Because when life doubles the challenge, it also doubles the opportunity to grow. This is the story of how one unexpected piece of news reshaped our marriage, tested our limits, challenged our finances, divided our roles, and ultimately strengthened a partnership we didn't even realize was capable of so much more. Marriage is often described as a journey, but few talk about how dramatically the road can change without warning. One moment you're building a future together step by step, and the next, that future expands beyond anything you imagined. When we found out we were expecting twins, our relationship entered a new dimension emotionally, financially, and practically. The news forced us to confront fears we didn't know we had and pushed us into conversations we had long postponed. It challenged our patience, tested our communication, and redefined teamwork. But it also revealed a deeper strength within our bond. If you've ever faced a life-changing surprise in your relationship, or if you're navigating parenthood right now, stay with us. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with someone who might need this story today. When we first discovered we were expecting a baby, our hearts expanded with excitement, but the news of twins felt like stepping into an entirely different universe. The room seemed to shrink while our future suddenly grew twice as large. In a single moment, our carefully balanced expectations dissolved into something far more complex. We had imagined one crib, one college fund, one set of tiny footsteps echoing through the house. Now we pictured two of everything: two car seats, two personalities, two futures unfolding simultaneously. That multiplication did not just apply to diapers and bottles. It applied to responsibility, time, and emotional energy. I could see the joy in my partner's eyes, but behind it was the same silent question racing through my mind. Are we truly ready for this? The news forced us to confront the fragility of our plans and the reality that life does not wait for perfect preparation. It stretches you instantly, demanding growth before you feel capable of expanding. The financial implications arrived almost immediately, casting a long shadow over our initial excitement. We had budgeted carefully for one child, calculating daycare costs, medical expenses, and future savings with cautious optimism. Suddenly, every number doubled, and so did the anxiety attached to it. Conversations about money, once occasional and light, became frequent and intense. We reviewed spreadsheets late into the night, analyzing every subscription, every unnecessary purchase, every financial habit that now seemed reckless. Fear crept in quietly, whispering doubts about whether love alone could sustain such a leap. Yet within those difficult discussions, something important shifted. Instead of blaming each other or avoiding the topic, we began approaching finances as a shared mission rather than an individual burden. The pressure exposed our vulnerabilities but also revealed our capacity for transparency. The idea of providing for two lives forced us to become more disciplined, more united, and more intentional with every financial decision we made. Emotionally, the news of twins magnified everything we were already feeling about becoming parents. Excitement intensified, but so did insecurity. I worried about whether I would have enough patience, enough strength, enough emotional resilience to nurture two infants at once. My partner confessed similar fears, admitting concerns about balancing work responsibilities with increased demands at home. These admissions did not weaken our bond. Instead, they opened a space for honesty that had previously been hidden behind confidence. We stopped pretending to have everything under control and began acknowledging that uncertainty was part of the journey. The vulnerability we shared in those early weeks reshaped our communication. We listened more carefully, spoke more thoughtfully, and offered reassurance without judgment. The presence of two tiny heartbeats growing simultaneously reminded us that perfection was never the goal, presence was, and in choosing to remain emotionally available to one another, we laid a foundation stronger than the illusion of control we once clung to. As the pregnancy progressed, the division of responsibilities became a central topic in our relationship. With one child, we had imagined a natural flow of shared tasks, adjusting organically as needed. With twins, spontaneity felt risky. We needed structure, clarity, and deliberate planning. We discussed nighttime feedings, parental leave, household chores, and even emergency scenarios with a seriousness that surprised us both. There were moments of tension, especially when exhaustion made patience scarce, but those conversations ultimately sharpened our teamwork. Instead of assuming roles based on habit or tradition, we consciously defined them according to strengths and availability. This intentional approach reduced resentment before it could take root. We learned that partnership is not about splitting tasks evenly, but about balancing them fairly. Preparing for twins demanded efficiency, but it also cultivated respect. Each responsibility carried weight, and acknowledging that weight together prevented us from feeling isolated in our efforts. The physical demands of the pregnancy introduced another layer of change within our marriage. As the months advanced, discomfort increased, mobility decreased, and energy fluctuated unpredictably. Watching my partner navigate the strain of carrying two babies fostered a deeper sense of admiration and protectiveness within me. Small gestures became significant expressions of love, preparing meals, attending medical appointments, adjusting schedules, offering quiet presence during moments of overwhelm. Our relationship shifted from romantic spontaneity to practical tenderness, and surprisingly, that shift strengthened our connection. We discovered intimacy in teamwork rather than grand gestures. There was something profoundly bonding about assembling cribs together late at night or folding impossibly tiny clothes side by side. The anticipation of twins turned ordinary activities into sacred rituals of preparation. While physical exhaustion tested our patience at times, it also reminded us that we were building something extraordinary together, something that required sacrifice but promised immeasurable reward. When the twins finally arrived, the reality of our new life descended with breathtaking intensity. The hospital room buzzed with activity, and our world narrowed to the fragile rhythm of two newborn breaths. Joy overflowed, yet exhaustion set in almost immediately. Sleep became fragmented, measured in brief intervals rather than full nights. The transition from anticipation to responsibility was abrupt and overwhelming. In those early days, we barely recognized ourselves, functioning on instinct and adrenaline. Yet within that chaos, something remarkable occurred. We operated as a synchronized unit, passing babies between us with unspoken coordination. There was no room for ego or scorekeeping. Survival required collaboration. The cries of one twin often awakened the other, creating a cycle that demanded patience beyond what we thought we possessed. Still, amid the fatigue, we felt an undeniable sense of purpose. Our marriage transformed from a partnership of two individuals into a unified force anchored by shared devotion. Financial concerns resurfaced with greater urgency once we were home. Diapers disappeared at an astonishing rate. Medical checkups doubled, and the cost of childcare loomed like an approaching storm. We revisited our budget again, this time with practical evidence of how quickly expenses accumulated. The temptation to panic was strong, but we chose strategy over fear. We explored flexible work options, reevaluated career goals, and even discussed long-term financial planning with more seriousness than ever before. Instead of viewing money as a source of conflict, we reframed it as a tool for security and opportunity. The twins motivated us to think beyond immediate comfort and consider generational stability. That shift in perspective altered our financial behavior permanently. We became more disciplined savers, more mindful spenders, and more ambitious planners. The pressure of providing for 4 instead of 2 ignited a level of focus that strengthened not only our finances but also our mutual trust. The division of labor intensified once daily routines settled into place. Feeding schedules overlapped, laundry multiplied, and maintaining even minimal household order required strategic coordination. We quickly learned that flexibility was as important as structure. Some nights, one of us carried a heavier load while the other recovered from exhaustion. Resentment threatened to surface during moments of imbalance, but open communication consistently diffused it. We reminded ourselves that fairness fluctuates. It is not measured in hours, but in intention. Recognizing each other's efforts became a vital practice. Simple acknowledgments such as expressing gratitude for a completed task or a handled meltdown reinforced solidarity. Over time, we developed rhythms that felt almost intuitive, adapting to the personalities of each child. The twins were individuals with distinct needs, and meeting those needs required adaptability. Through constant adjustment, we refined our partnership into something more resilient than before. Emotionally, the presence of twins demanded expansion. One crying baby can be overwhelming. Two can feel paralyzing. There were evenings when both infants needed attention simultaneously, and we felt stretched beyond capacity. In those moments, our emotional regulation determined the atmosphere of our home. If one of us succumbed to panic, the tension multiplied. But when we steadied each other with calm reassurance, the chaos softened. We learned to read not only our children's cues but also each other's emotional states. A simple glance could communicate fatigue, frustration, or gratitude. That heightened awareness deepened our empathy. Parenthood stripped away superficial conflicts and exposed what truly mattered. Minor disagreements that once consumed energy now seemed trivial compared to the responsibility of nurturing two vulnerable lives. The twins unintentionally refined our priorities, teaching us that unity was more valuable than being right. Our social life transformed dramatically after the arrival of twins. Outings required meticulous planning, and spontaneous evenings disappeared almost entirely. Invitations were often declined due to logistical complexity or sheer exhaustion. Initially, this shift felt isolating, as though a part of our identity as a couple had been suspended. However, within that isolation, we rediscovered each other in quieter ways. Conversations during late-night feedings replaced dinners out. Shared laughter over simultaneous diaper disasters replaced social gatherings. Our bond matured beyond external validation. We no longer relied on activities to feel connected. Connection became embedded in shared responsibility. The twins unintentionally created a sanctuary where our focus narrowed to what truly sustained us. Although we missed certain freedoms, we gained a depth of companionship that could not have been cultivated under easier circumstances. Career decisions became another significant crossroads in our relationship. Balancing professional ambitions with the demands of two infants forced us to evaluate priorities with brutal honesty. Opportunities that once seemed essential were reconsidered in light of family needs. We discussed long-term goals, short-term sacrifices, and the possibility of redefining success altogether. These conversations were not simple. They required humility and compromise. Yet they also reinforced our respect for each other's aspirations. Supporting one another's growth, even if it meant adjusting timelines, strengthened our trust. We realized that partnership sometimes involves alternating seasons of advancement and sacrifice. The twins did not eliminate our dreams, they reshaped them. And in choosing alignment over competition, we fortified the foundation of our marriage. As months passed, we began to witness the unique bond forming between our twins. Watching them respond to each other's presence, calming at the sound of a familiar cry, or reaching instinctively toward one another, filled us with awe. Their connection mirrored the partnership we were striving to maintain. They were individuals, yet undeniably linked. Observing them reminded us that unity does not erase individuality, it enhances it. Our role as parents was not only to nurture them separately but also to honor their shared journey. That realization influenced how we approached our marriage as well. We embraced the idea that two distinct personalities could thrive side by side without diminishing each other. The twins became living symbols of cooperation and coexistence. Inevitably, there were moments of doubt when exhaustion clouded perspective. We questioned whether we were doing enough, whether our marriage was receiving sufficient attention amid parental demands. During those periods, intentional effort became essential. We carved out brief moments for connection, even if it was simply sharing coffee before the babies woke. Protecting our relationship required deliberate action. We understood that a strong partnership was the most valuable gift we could offer our children. By nurturing our bond, we created stability within the home. The twins thrived not only because of individual care but because of the secure environment shaped by our unity. Over time, confidence replaced fear. Tasks that once felt overwhelming became manageable through repetition and cooperation. Financial planning evolved from anxiety to strategy. Emotional turbulence gave way to steadier rhythms. The experience of raising twins accelerated our growth in ways we could not have predicted. We became more patient, more resourceful, and more appreciative of each other's strengths. Challenges that initially appeared insurmountable transformed into evidence of resilience. Each milestone reached by our twins felt like a collective achievement, reinforcing our belief that we were capable of far more than we had imagined. Looking back, the news that once terrified us now feels like a profound blessing disguised as a challenge. The arrival of twins did not weaken our marriage, it refined it. Pressure revealed fractures but also provided the opportunity to mend them with intention. We learned that partnership is not proven in ease but in adversity. The doubling of responsibility demanded doubling our commitment, communication, and compassion. Through sleepless nights, financial recalculations, and emotional stretching, we discovered a deeper layer of love. Our relationship did not simply survive the arrival of twins, it evolved into something stronger, steadier, and more enduring than before. Finding out there were twins changed our relationship in ways we could never have predicted. It magnified our fears, stretched our finances, and tested our patience, but it also strengthened our unity and deepened our respect for one another. The challenge forced us to grow faster than comfort ever would have allowed. Marriage is not defined by how smoothly life unfolds, but by how partners respond when it multiplies unexpectedly. In the end, the arrival of twins did more than expand our family, it expanded our capacity for love, resilience, and partnership. And perhaps that is the greatest transformation of all.